Today in the shop, we are starting a pretty big project. We're gonna be getting this minivan cleaned for my neighbor. On the interior, they had actually purchased this used, and the dealership had actually had 2 people detail it before they even bought it. Those detailers had tried to remove what stains they could, but unfortunately weren't able to remove everything. I don't know if they set the stains. I don't know if they were using improper chemicals. But interior wise, we're gonna see what we can do to remove some pretty set in and stubborn stains on a gray interior. We also need to deep clean our leather seats, but I can tell they've been previously dyed. So interior wise, we have quite a bit of work that we need to do. That's gonna be our primary focus for today's detail. Most detailers that I know don't really enjoy doing interiors. I, however, love doing interiors. But when my neighbor opened up her minivan door, my back immediately started to hurt. I knew that I was in for a very long process to try to remove all of these stains. I don't know how long they've been there. I don't know 100% the origin of the stains, and I don't know if they've been set in from too high of an APC or steam. And so we're going to have to just use patience, proper chemicals and tools, and common sense to tackle this vehicle. My best bet is that we might have some nicotine staining going on. Now, I can't smell a smoke smell, but I have a feeling when we hit this with water, we're going to deal with some nicotine and some wicking. We have to first get all of the crumbs and the dirt out of the vehicle before we introduce any sort of moisture. My biggest challenge for the day might actually be these stickers. They've been on the glass for over 3 years. My neighbor and her son have been trying to remove them when they can, but they've kind of given up. So we're going to see what we can do. We also have to deep clean all of our seat tracks and just tackle any sort of mysterious stains that we encounter on this interior. Because you can see our base carpet, it's actually gray. So we've got a lot of soiling that we're going to have to deal with. Because we're only charging my neighbor $200 for this detail, her husband and she had already vacuumed and cleaned it out. So all we really need to do is use my blowout tool to blow out all of our nooks and crannies and get the big stuff. If I have yet to convince you guys of the benefits of a blowout tool and a compressor, let this be your determining factor. For those of you moms and dads, you might actually only need to do this, and it takes about 10 minutes to blow out a minivan, thanks to our flat sides and open doors. I get it now. That was like 10 minutes and I just blew out the entire interior. I don't even know if I need to vacuum. You guys were right. And for those of you that don't have a compressor, California Air Tools compressor, super quiet, works really well. I mean, it's filled up maybe 5 times, but just doing quick short bursts as my friend Carlos instructed, but it works really well. Now, this is a technique that I normally use for extremely soiled mats, but I'll fill up a bin with water. You can use a large trash can as long as it's clean or something like this, and we'll put about 2 scoops of OxiClean laundry detergent within it, and then we're going to soak these mats overnight. You can kind of agitate them a little bit, but you'll see so much of that brown is already starting to come up. Just wait till you see this water tomorrow. Now it's time to clean normally the grossest part of a minivan, the middle row seat track. You have so many crumbs and sticky things that get ground in as the seat slides forwards and backwards, and most parents, they just don't think to clean them out. And with the middle row removed, it does make it a little precarious. But after vacuuming out the seat tracks with our crevice attachment, we're going to use our steam and our crevice nozzle, almost like a pressure washer, to break down all of the sticky stuck-on dirt and blast it out. This can make a little bit of a mess, but we're going to vacuum all of those crumbs and nastiness up afterwards before we do any sort of extraction. I always get this part done. It does take time moving the seat track forwards and backwards, so that way you get end to end, but it is so worth it when you can smoothly move those seats forwards and backwards. Now that all of the dry soiling is removed, we're going to extract. In our rinse water, we're going to put a scoop of Flex Ice from Bridgepoint, and we have hot water in our extractor that's just going to help break down any of the soils. And then we have our electric sprayer with Bridgepoint Flex BioBreak with Citrusolve. This is a heavy-duty citrus-based cleaner that also has enzymes within it that's going to help neutralize odors on this interior, because it does have a little bit of a musty smell just from all of the life that has happened. And this does a fantastic job of breaking down all of these old stains and rinsing them away. But we are definitely reactivating a lot of old spills. And my concern is that we're going to deal with some wicking. And I'll share with you guys in just a second how I deal with wicking on light colored interiors. But this was probably the longest extraction job that I have ever done on an interior. We actually had to go over this section multiple times just because of, one, the vehicle was previously smoked in and we were kind of hitting a lot of that nicotine film. But two, there were a lot of old spills that they just kept coming and coming. Ideally, if you can remove trim, remove it. But in this instance, I didn't want to tear the vehicle apart. And so thankfully, our Aqua Provac extractor head allows me to go all the way end to end with water and get into some really tight spaces that I don't have to remove any of the trim to deep clean these carpets.
On the cusp, not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup, something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good karma is a must. Still my shooter in the cut. I was stuck inside a rut. Played the game, made bank, move G. Anything to get a buck. You won't find me in the club. I'm in the lab trying to sharpen up the sword, swinging blades at these scrubs. Flock like bugs to the light, getting right. Treat my hoes like these raps. I don't really got a type. Off top bullshit. All I needed was a mic. Yeah. Hey, pass the rock, it's all butter. Pack your bags and take flight. Don't worry, it's all covered. Hey, live your life while you can. Our days are all numbered. Rain could cause thunder, but the sun comes after, clearing up the disaster. Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back, I'm focused on what's in front of me. Everybody day's a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company. So take it from me, I got some places I should take you to see. You know it's easy when you ride with a G. Light speed, moving fast through the city, trying to find me some peace. I finally lived to be the guy that I was dying to be. Feel like I got some trust issues, people lie through their teeth. The more I grew, the more they hide in the crease. Squad building, weak members get released. If we trying to compete, starting pitchers need relief. Bro, we building a team, everybody got a niche. I've been known to play mine to a T, but it's time for me to lead. Picking dirt right out the cleats. Steep path, roadblocks in the streets, trying to knock me off my feet, cause the devil never sleeps. So I don't sleep too, and trying to breach safes that I didn't have the keys to. We all been victims of trauma we ain't agreed to, but the sun comes after, starting up a new chapter. Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back, I'm focused on what's in front of me. Everybody day's a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company.
Because I don't remove seats from their frame if they are bolted in, and we do have a lot of spills alongside our seat, we're going to spray our cleaner and then wrap a microfiber around a narrow brush and just bonnet clean alongside of the seats. So you might be thinking that our carpets were soaked with that much extraction, but actually they dried out pretty quickly once we got our blowers on top. And you can see just how much nicotine and dirt we removed from our carpets. They look so much brighter and so much cleaner. Tons of sand, dirt, and tannin. Now it's time to go ahead and clean our mats. And remember when I said how dirty our water was? Yummy! That's just from letting them soak overnight. To do our mats, we're going to spray with our chemical, agitate with our drill brush, and we're going to actually use a pressure washer to blast out all the dirt. Sometimes when you have a ton of soiling in mats, this is the best way to deep clean them. And sometimes you have to do multiple rounds or even switch up the cleaner because you might need a different chemical to go after different stains. So don't be afraid to go in different directions or to mix up your chemicals if you find that you're not getting the results that you want with one specific cleaner. So one tip when working on light colored interiors, use your camera to examine, because sometimes it will help you see things a little bit better when it comes to wicking. I can see we have some wicking right there. We have some wicking right there. And we'll move our seat up because I have a feeling I'm probably gonna have some wicking here. There was a big spill, you could tell, just in this general area. Both pieces of our plastic, we had a ton, and it was just really tight, really hard to get in there. I'm also seeing on our trunk area, especially on camera, some wicking right here, and then that major stain. As things dry, just know when you got like heavy stains like that on a light colored interior, they're gonna show up again. So rather than me just keep extracting, I like to use a product like this. This is called Spot Stop. No more wicking, no more resoiling. This is basically like a light acid. So I sprayed some of our Spot Stop onto my towel, and we're just gonna go over the surface to help remove the wicking. And this just slows it down from kind of reappearing on the surface. So that's just one little tip that I have. If I were to try to extract until I have no wicking, this would never dry out. So you can just go over any areas that want to wick on you with this product, and this will help, one, accelerate dry time because I'm not having to re-shampoo, but it just gives you better end result. But the key to light interiors is get them dry as quickly as possible, because yes, I can see I've even got some more coming back on me. So we're gonna put a blower on this interior, so that way if I do have wicking, I can treat it now, versus if I were to give this to the customer where it's still kind of slightly damp and they go home, and as things fully dry out, you're gonna have all these old bad stains just kind of rise to the surface. So when working on light colored interiors, do not release it until it is fully dry, so that way you can treat any sort of wicking that is going to occur. So I've got tools all over the place. We're gonna clean up a little bit. I just had a lunch break. We're done with the pressure washer. We're not gonna wash it today. We're not even gonna mess with door jambs right now. We're gonna save that for when we do the exterior, because there's no point with me getting, dirt on the exterior if we're not washing it. We got our compressor, our tornador gun that we're gonna use when we clean all of our plastics. We're gonna keep the steamer out because we're gonna use that when we clean our plastics. Extractor, we can put away. We're done finally with extracting. That took literally about 5 hours, 3 hours yesterday, 2 hours today for us to get all of this extracting done. That is the longest amount of extraction I've ever had to do on an interior. And I know you guys are like, why do you spend so much time extracting? When you've got light colored interiors with heavy soiling, you are not going to be surface cleaning that stuff. And I mean, you can, but as soon as they spill something, it's just going to reactivate it. I want it gone. I want a deep level of cleaning, so that way if they spill anything, it's not like I just covered it up. I'm not dyeing carpets to cover up stains. The only time I would ever dye a carpet is after I've cleaned it and a stain is permanent, then we use carpet dye. But I don't use carpet dye to cover up insufficient or incapable cleaning. So we're gonna go ahead, get cleaned up. Now, when it comes to this interior, we've got two routes that I could go to move next. I could clean my leather, or I could clean the stickers on the glass. We're gonna get the tedious one done with the stickers on the glass. This does have tint, So I have to be careful. I don't want to scratch it, but we're going to play around with some products. I know that this is a problem that a lot of parents have on minivans. They let their kids go happy with applying stickers on the glass. Don't do that, folks, because you're gonna forget about removing it, and then that sticker is gonna get baked in the sun, and then it's gonna become a nightmare. So for those of you that maybe you have some stickers from your kids on the back windows, we're gonna try a few techniques and see if we can provide a solution without damaging our glass. Fingers crossed. But our mat's cleaned up beautifully. Everything is drying out nice. It is a beautiful spring day. It's like 75 degrees outside, and they're dry. So that took about an hour. The extractor did a great job. Even though we soaked them overnight, everything cleaned up as well as we could. We extracted till we had clear solution. We did have some red dye. The red one did not remove it. It was probably permanently set in. But I think the customer's gonna be really, really happy with this. This is what she's gonna see once we put these on top of our carpet. So all in all, everything is clean. She can have peace of mind knowing we've removed all the years worth of dirt, soiling, and residue. This was actually my favorite part of the entire detail. First, we hit our stickers with some steam, very gently, not going super aggressive, but this is going to break down some of the paper and the glue of the stickers. Then we sprayed on Invisible Glass from Stoner, their aerosol form, and we are very gently using a metal scraper to go over the stickers. We are not scrubbing aggressively, we are letting the scraper do the work. If our glue or the adhesive from the sticker is starting to fight us, then we just simply go over it with our steam, respray it with our Invisible Glass, and just with some patience and a little bit of gentle elbow grease, we were able to slowly eat away at these stickers. Oh my gosh, this was the most satisfying thing to ever do, but boy oh boy, did this make a mess at the end. Some of these final stickers were a little bit more stubborn to remove. I think they were thicker, almost like a cardstock, and so no amount of scraping was removing the adhesive. So we actually used a dedicated adhesive remover, rapid remover, sprayed that on, let it sit for a few seconds, and then we were able to easily remove the stickers. We could have probably used that from the get-go, but it's not the best on trim, and so I only wanted to use it sparingly, but this allowed a lot of that adhesive to break down for it to easily be scraped away. We're gonna blow all this out just to get any little pieces of sticker that are left behind. Since we have all that rapid remover on there, now I can come in with, this is like liquid gold for me. And if you're wondering why I didn't use the Detail Co glass cleaner originally when removing the stickers, well, Invisible Glass is $3. This product is almost $10, so that's why. Now we just need to clean up the mess and shift gears to either our headliner or our leather seats. Let's start with the headliner because ideally you want to start at the top and work your way down. It looked like we had some chocolate milk that had splattered on the headliner, so we're going to use Bonnet Pro Omega Zyme to clean our headliner. We're bonnet cleaning using the Autofiber UFO pads and our DA polisher. This just allows us to consistently clean without having sort of ripples left behind in the headliner. If I were to just spray my cleaner and blot, I might actually push that dirt further out and leave a circular stain on the headliner, almost like a clean stain. But by bonnet cleaning, you just leave behind a clean, consistent appearance and are able to treat heavy stains very safely. You don't want to extract, you don't want to steam, but this is the best way to clean headliners. We are testing out a new leather cleaner. This is Derma Cleaner 2.0 from Labo Cosmetica, and yes, I did say it with an Italian accent. You have to. It's Derma Cleaner 2.0. All right, I actually am a little bit Italian, like 25%. It's in the hands, right? So we're gonna test this out. Ooh, let's not have it straight out. I don't hate the smell, but it's definitely a little bit more of a chemical smell. Sometimes I like leather cleaners that actually smell like leather. And this is cleaning really well. I'm making an assumption that this is a safe cleaner for leather versus some of the other stronger cleaners that I use. I talked with Reggie from Labo Cosmetica a few times before, and their products for some reason just seem to be on a different level. They're very aware of how to use chemicals safely to get the most results out of them. And you can cut this 1-to-1 for routine cleaning. This is not routine cleaning. I mean, look at the amount of dirt we're pulling up on that. And I don't know if you guys can see this on camera. It is pulling up years of dirt and film. I kind of wish I'd wiped it with a white towel, because I guarantee you this towel is discolored. We will go over some spots a second time. I can still see like right here in this textured area. And that's why sometimes I want to use products like Superior Products Leather Cleaner in situations like this where we have a ton of dirt. It cuts through all that so quickly. It literally melts dirt off. But if your leather is damaged, if your leather is dyed, it will also cut through your plastic top coat. It will also cut through that dye, and it will remove the dye. And these seats, some of them have been dyed, so I don't want to damage them any further than they already are. These seats are less than optimum conditions. So we're just gonna go one more time in some of these textured areas a little bit more, just to try to get some of that dirt. I could use steam to blast it, but I don't like using steam on leather. It can be very damaging. You can burn it. You could put a bonnet on the end of your steamer just to kind of give you a layer of material in between. But again, I just think honestly, a good cleaner and Auto Fiber Scrub Ninja is gonna be personally a little bit safer than steam could be. I think that second round of cleaning just helped cut through a little bit more of the dirt in our textured surfaces of our vinyl seats. And I'll bring you guys in close to show you a difference between our clean and our dirty leather. You can see all the dirt. There's just so much dirt in the texture part of our seats. And you can see where I stopped and now where we've cleaned. Our texture doesn't have anything in between. It's not sticky. It's nice and matte. Over here you can see shiny leather, and over here just a nice clean surface. And it is helping to make this interior smell a lot cleaner. And let's just, for kicks and giggles, let's just show how dirty this leather really is. It doesn't look like it's that dirty, I'll be honest. I'm not gonna tape off because that's annoying to have to remove the tape lines. But that just shows you even what little bit ran down. That just shows you just how dirty our leather seats are and just how well our Derma Cleaner 2.0 works. I feel like Count Dracula. I know, I'm a dork. All right, let's keep working. So in my desire to not damage the dye on these leather seats, I was using the Derma Cleaner 2.0. I was actually thinking that it was a lower pH than Superior Products Leather Cleaner, but come to find out, Superior Products is actually a pH of 7, which I find highly doubtful considering how strong it cleans. But you can see Derma Cleaner 2.0 managed a lot of dirt well, but I did find that I had to go over it multiple times. We're going to clean all of our plastics with Superior Products Does It All Enzyme Cleaner. This is similar to their Pink Perfection, which is a soap-based APC, but it has an enzyme solution to help go after odors. I'm finding though that our Derma Cleaner 2.0, it's removing dye just as much as our leather cleaners from Superior Products. But there's just so much dirt that I am spending a ton of time just trying to chase it. And so you could stress so much about preserving the finish, but when you've got, I hate to say it, kind of roached leather seats like this, just go for clean. After cleaning all of our hard plastic surfaces, all we have to do now is just clean our glass, and for that we are using our Detail Co glass cleaner. And once we are done with our glass, we are done. Here's the finished results of our interior for our minivan. Minivan interiors are not for the faint of heart. We were able to spread this out over a 2-day period, but from start to finish, this took us 7.5 hours to complete. Even though it was a lot of work, to see the peace of mind that my neighbor had, knowing that we were able to remove as much soiling, staining, and germs from this interior, it was all worth it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this closer look at what it takes to deep clean a minivan like this. If you guys enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so that way you don't miss out on any of our future details. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the very next detail.